Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Regenerative Business Podcast. Sam Garcia here, your lovely host. And today is more of a reflection style podcast, but I wanted to go through the four main wealth lessons that I learned in 2025 as we're wrapping up this year. While we're here, let's actually define what wealth is. Where abundance is the state of having a copious quantity of something, wealth is the state of being rich. According to the dictionary, this is an abundance of valuable possessions or money, the state of being rich, material prosperity, plentiful supplies of a particular resource, and a plentiful supply of a particular desirable thing. While often associated with cash, wealth is way more than that. It's not just your ability to create or generate that thing, it's your ability to have and to hold it. It's your ability to hang out with it and keep it in your life. And to review this topic from my book, Regenerative Business, there are four forms of wealth. The first one being financial wealth, which you are familiar with. Beyond just generating money, do you have ways for money to hang around and spend time with you? Do you have channels for money to flow into your life? The second is time wealth. Do you have time to enjoy your life? The third is physical wealth. Do you have a plentiful supply of energy in your being? While also realizing that we are cyclical creatures. And the fourth is social wealth. Are you investing time and energy into your relationships? And there's a great quote from Dr. Robert Weldinger, a psychiatrist and the director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development. And he says, it turns out that people who are more socially connected to family, to friends, to community are happier. They're physically healthier and they live longer than people who are less well connected. So we know that there are many types of wealth for the four that we just went through, but I wanted to go through four big wealth lessons I had this year. And I do really love to do review episodes like this or just reflecting for myself on stuff like this because it really helps me and everyone move forward with the lessons and it helps with better planning. So while I'm thinking about 2026 and I want to carry these things forward into the next year. So, my lesson number one is, and sorry, it is a cliche, but health is wealth. Now, I'm fully aware that the phrase health is wealth feels so cliche, but it was really a big one for 2025. This past year, I dealt with more health challenges and more low energy seasons than I did pretty much ever, definitely more than 2024. And for the majority of my life, I have had the experience of being the kind of person who feels like they can do anything in terms of I'm great with last minute deadlines. I'm very fast acting and fast moving. But 2025, I just, because of these health challenges, I just couldn't. There's a lot less I could do. My capacity was definitely capped. And I just had such a direct feedback loop around pushing myself even a little bit too far in the projects I was doing would almost instantaneously push me into being unwell and still is this direct feedback loop. Now, I'm so fucking grateful for the systems that I've put in place in my business. And I mean, completely reorienting my business on a different business model where it was a marketing agency for many years. And then that plus high ticket coaching and masterminds. And these last 2 years really transitioning into quote unquote low ticket, lower priced offers as a big core of what my business sells. And if I look back to when done for you services were the core of my business, if that was still the case this last year, man, it would have been so challenging. I probably would have had to do a ton of hiring because I wouldn't have personally been able to do the type or amount of work I was doing a few years ago. I mean, as we've talked about a lot on this podcast, your business is a separate entity than you. And the more that you empower your business, meaning allowing your business to hold more power, to hold more energy, the less dependent it is on you. So I guess this is a bit of a two-parter, a two-part lesson. One side of like health is wealth, and I'm still learning what this new body and new energy is in terms of how I can actually treat it or how I should be treating it in order to feel well all the time. There's also a big lesson in how you actually structure your business can allow for a lot more grace. And even though I've been working a lot less, my business hasn't stalled at all. So, lesson number two was in investing outside of my business. You've probably heard me mention the regenerative business ecosystem, but what actually is it? RBE is my all access membership for online entrepreneurs who want to build thriving, ethical, nervous system safe businesses, ones that feel as good to run as they look on paper. Inside, you'll get every single course, workshop, and template I've ever created, from copywriting alchemy and drill-worthy offers to evergreen ecosystem and your root system. Everything's organized into clear learning pathways, so you'll always know exactly what to focus on next for your season of growth. And when you join, you'll get a personal onboarding audio from me, like a private welcome ritual where I help you identify your next right steps based on where you are in your business right now. But my absolute favorite part of RBE is the live calls. Every month we meet twice. One of those is always a Q&A call with me where I answer every question you asked. You'll get what you need every time. We also move through quarterly implementation cycles, themed seasons of focus, reflection, and growth, plus access to audio drops, a private podcast, and a vibrant community where collaborations, referrals, and real friendships happen. RBE isn't another hustle container. It is a living ecosystem built on rhythm, reciprocity, and regeneration. When you join, you get to grow your wealth and impact without losing your aliveness. Members have used these tools to double their income while working fewer hours, rebuild their creativity after burnout, and finally feel grounded in their leadership again. You can join us now at thedirtyalchemy.com/RBE, and podcast listeners get 20% off their first month with code PODCAST. Your next season of ease, expansion, and impact starts here inside the regenerative business ecosystem. Join now and have your best year yet. I think this is a really common thing for entrepreneur is we see such a big ROI, return on investment, in investing in our business. There is so much importance in investing outside of your business. And it is really trippy in the online space because if you're like, I want to grow my business 10% next year, like if you made $100,000 this year, you're like, I want to make $110,000 next year. A lot of people will be like, what the fuck are you doing? Really? That's it? It's way more common to be like, I want to double my revenue this year. So 100% increase in income. Or I want to triple my revenue next year. So a 200% increase. That's like so common in the online space. But this last year, I've been doing a lot more traditional investing, like, oh, planning for retirement and maxing out my 401k. And with more traditional investments, it's like you can expect a 10% increase year over year, as we've outlined. It's like, feels like pennies compared to the growth potential of a business. But I have an entire podcast episode called Preparing for All Futures. And in a lot of my life, I really haven't put all of my eggs in one basket. So having all of my finances really dependent on one thing, even if it is a robust, successful business, doesn't really feel wise to me. And it's just been really cool in this last year, kind of nerding out on numbers and nerding out on compound interest potential and what the future looks like. And like beyond just the retirement accounts, okay, investing in the business that I have with my husband and some additional local businesses. And like, as a side note, another reason I think this is really smart is kind of like how we've talked about on the podcast before of the importance of hobbies and having things to do outside of your business. Because if you are dependent on your business as your only creative outlet or your only passion, then you can actually fuck up your business because you're tinkering with it too much. It has been this fun outlet for me, learning about different markets, learning about different strategies without feeling like I need to do more for my business just because I have the time to. So with this lesson, like really thinking about my business as this vehicle or channel for wealth, where just throwing money back into the business isn't actually durable for the long term. Like, of course, reinvesting in my business, I mean, as we'll talk about in later lessons, is incredibly important and beneficial and can have huge ROIs. But investing outside of the business in multiple avenues can create this more sustained, durable wealth. Okay, so lesson 3, having the right people in the right roles. So in 2024, my team was bigger than it is this year. More full-time people, more part-time people. But 2025 has felt so good and clean and easy and simple with the team that I have. And I feel like we're getting more done and I feel more supported, even though the team is smaller. And this is where like right people, right roles. Because there were some people that I had on the team in 2024 that there was just this feeling of like, oh, I don't actually feel supported by you. Like it either doesn't feel like you care about my business or I was expecting a lot more from you. And so when I was hiring, well, first I let go of some people, but then hiring for replacements is like, I realized I didn't actually have to replace the people. I actually needed to get more and more clear on what the role was and what I needed help with. So, like this year, I hired a VA that just does admin stuff, like customer service and admin stuff. And I hired someone to take over my Instagram, and it's all they do. They just post on Instagram for me. And so, really focused, really clear. And it feels like I'm getting more help, even though it is less people and less time that they're spending in my business because it's more focused, because it's so clear what they're doing. And so it's trippy looking back at a few years ago when I was making high multiple six figures a few years ago, but I was making less then. And I was also having a bigger team. So this reminded me that the most powerful hires in a values-based company is someone who is emotionally invested in the mission, not someone who just checks a box in a resume or that your friend refers to you. And it's also why it's never a good idea or it's just not ideal to hire someone when you're really overwhelmed and busy because you'll just take the first person who comes in just because you need to fill the seat and you need them to do these very specific things, but then it just kind of like turns into something different. Okay, so lesson number 4 is mentorship as an accelerant, but only when you're resourced enough to receive it. From 2019, I've always been inside a mentorship container or a mastermind. Always. Sometimes even multiple masterminds at one time. But this year, I paused all of it, partly because of health, partly because I felt like I couldn't even receive things. And really, like my nervous system genuinely needed less input. And it was 100% the right call. So between April and today, December, so a good 9 months having no mentorship or like high level container I was a part of was so needed. Again, I couldn't actually get the medicine or the support from the container because of it. But as of this last week, I'm back into a mentorship space and I could feel in my body of this craving for a certain kind of community, a craving for, I mean, that mentorship relationship. If you've been in one, you know, like being able to actually have high level conversations with someone who is in deep relationship with you and your business. It really felt like this flip switching of like, oh yeah, when I look forward to 2026, when I look forward to this next vision that I'm seeing for Dirty Alchemy for my business, a key ingredient for me is that mentorship because there's so much benefit in like seeing behind the scenes of other businesses. So like if you've ever been in a mastermind where you are in this smaller group, you get to actually hear stories from other people of the true back end of their business, like seeing true numbers, real stories of what's happening, not just like highlight reels or like 50% true stuff that people share on social media in private spaces is just different. Like, especially great if we can actually normalize higher income, hold bigger visions, expand your sense of what's possible in being an actual relationship with other people who are doing it. So that's why I'm seeing mentorship as accelerant and just the contrast between having it for so long, then not having it for 9 months, then stepping back into it now. There is so much external motivation that comes from being in a space like that. So those are my 4 wealth takeaways for 2025 that I'm bringing into 2026. Number 1, health is wealth. And also, side note, empowering your business to run without you is so important when your health is not feeling very wealthy. Number 2, investing outside of your business. Number 3, having the right people in the right roles. And number 4, mentorship as accelerant. I'm so curious, all the lessons that we will all be learning in 2026. I'm definitely continuing these and holding on to these as lessons in this next year. If you would like to hire me as your mentor for 2026, I do have a very limited number of one-to-one private mentorship spots open right now. So you can find the link to apply and learn more in the show notes. And if private mentorship isn't what you're seeking right now, definitely check out the regenerative business ecosystem, which is where we do this work collectively, healing the nervous system of your business, building wealth rooted in values, and scaling without extraction. You can join the waitlist below to be the first to know when the doors reopen. And I'm so grateful you're here. If you got a lot out of this episode, make sure to screenshot it and you can share it on your stories on Instagram. Make sure to tag me at The Dirty Alchemy. Or I would so appreciate and love if you could leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It makes a big difference in the findability of this podcast. Until next time, have a great week.